Good morning, students. Let's again discuss chapter 6. This is Jody's fawn. We were on its third part, and half of the third part I discussed with you in my video 4, and let's discuss its remaining half. His arms began to ache. Ache here means pain, and he was forced to stop again. When he walked on, the fawn followed him at once. He allowed it to walk a little distance, then picked it up again. The distance home was nothing. He could have walked all day and into the night, carrying it and watching it follow. He was wet with sweat, but a light breeze blew through the June morning, cooling him. The sky was as clear as spring water in a blue china cup. He came to the clearing. Clearing means saaf raaste pe. It was fresh and green after the night's rain. He fumbled. Fumbled means was unsuccessful with the latch. Latch means fastening for a door. And was finally obliged to set down the fawn to manage it. Then he had an idea. He would walk into his house, into Penny's bedroom. Who is Penny? His father, with the fawn walking behind him. But at the steps, the fawn balked and refused to, meaning is given over here, and refused to climb them. He picked it up and went to his father. Penny lay with closed eyes. Jody called, "Pa, look." Children, here we read, Jody was very tired and his arms began to pain. For a moment, the fawn followed him, but he again lifted the fawn in his arms. He was wet with sweat, and he was quite tired of. It was June morning, and a cool breeze was blowing. The sky was also clear. At the gate, Jody had an idea that he would walk into his father's room alone and the fawn would follow him. But the fawn couldn't walk. His father was taking rest with closed eyes in his room. Then Jody went inside into his father's room, carrying the little fawn in his arms, and showed the fawn to his father. Come to this part. Penny turned his head. Jody stood beside him, near him. The fawn clutched hard against him. Clutched hard means held a tight grip, जोर से पकड़ना. It seemed to Penny that the boy's eyes were as bright as the fawn's. He said, "I'm glad you found him." Penny, Jody's father, was very happy that Jody had found the fawn. Jody then went to the kitchen. The fawn wobbled after him. A pan of morning's milk stood in the kitchen, safe. The cream had risen on it. मिल्क के ऊपर जैसे क्रीम आ जाती है ना, तो वो उसके ऊपर आ गई थी. He skimmed means removed from the surface, side पे कर दी, the cream into a jug. He poured the milk into a small gourd. ये एक utensil ही होता है. He held it out to the fawn. It buttered it. Buttered means hit with the head. Suddenly, smelling the milk, he saved it precariously. Precariously means with difficulty. बड़ी मुश्किल से उसने उसे बचाया नीचे गिरने से, from slipping over the floor, दूध नीचे गिरने से. It could make nothing of the milk in the gourd. Jody went to the kitchen and saw pan full of milk in front of him. He poured some milk into a gourd. After skimming the cream, the fawn could not drink it. It hit the gourd with its head. Jody saved it with difficulty. He dipped his fingers in the milk and thrust means put in with force them into the fawn's soft wet mouth. It sucked greedily. When he withdrew them, it bleated frantically like mad and butted him. Butted means head के साथ hit किया. He dipped his fingers again, and as the fawn sucked, he lowered them slowly into the milk. The fawn blew, sucked and snorted. Snorted means made a sound from the nostril. नाक से जो आवाज़ करनी. It stamped. Stamped means beat feet on the earth. It's a small hoofs impatiently. Why? Because he was very hungry. तो वो और क्या था? Milk मांग रहा था. As long as he held his fingers below the level of the milk, the fawn was content. Content means satisfied. It closed its eyes dreamily. It was ecstasy, means great pleasure to feel its tongue against his hand. Its small tail flicked means moved back and forth. The last of the milk vanished in a swirl of foam and gurgling. Gurgling means voice from the throat. Swirl means fast circular movement. Then Jody dipped his fingers into the milk, in the milk and thrust them into the fawn's soft mouth. तो उसको बड़ा अच्छा भी लग रहा था, जैसे वो अपनी फिंगर्स जब उसकी टंग के साथ टच होती थी तो उसे बहुत सॉफ्ट और प्लेजर लाइक फील हो रहा था. Fawn drank the milk greedily because he was hungry. Then he lowered his fingers into the gourd. The fawn drank from the gourd now. पहले तो उसने फिंगर्स के साथ उसे सक करना सिखाया मिल्क, धीरे धीरे उसने खुद ही सीख लिया. एंड विद दिस वी एंडेड दिस चैप्टर.